Hello, and thanks for joining me. I'm Emily Dishman. I'm a real estate agent in North Idaho, and I've got a little story to share and some insights about the market. Today is September 23rd, 2024. A little bit of information about me. I've been a realtor in North Idaho for 24 years. On the Coeur d'Alene Regional Realtors Board of Directors, I am a state director. I'm also a local director for the Coeur d'Alene MLS. I serve on the Professional Standards Committee, past president of the MLS. I'm also an associate broker here at Tomlinson Sotheby's International Realty. I'm sitting at our office here on Sherman right now, and I've had some people walking by and paying attention to the listings in the window, so that can be a little distracting. And being a television personality is probably not my strong point. So a little bit about me. I moved to North Idaho in 1998 from Western Montana. I moved here because of really the community, the ability to own and run my own business, and to get out in nature all the time and enjoy hiking and camping and kayaking, all of the fun, all of the great things that North Idaho has to offer, and then the easy access to the whole Pacific Northwest. So as I mentioned, I work here at Tomlinson Sotheby's in Coeur d'Alene, and we have branches here in Coeur d'Alene and Sandpoint. And so I was asked last week to provide I've got someone parking on the sidewalk. I was asked to prepare a stats presentation for my office. And this is something that I do regularly. I'm a little bit of a numbers nerd, maybe more than a little bit. I'm in watching this person try to park is fascinating. I also am easily distracted, apparently. So I'm a nerd. I like the numbers. I'm always kind of comparing, well, what's happening? I think numbers don't lie. We have an intuitive sense of what's happening, a felt sense, what's happening in the market. Even as buyers and sellers, we recognize things have changed, but the numbers don't lie. And so I'm putting this presentation together for my office and looking at all of these patterns, and then something breaks. Everything breaks. I put this together in Canva and my slides all locked. So I wasn't able to modify any slides. And so then I thought, all right, I'll keep doing my research. So I jumped back into the program I use for my statistics, and it locks up and won't let me in. And so I had to just put together a cheesy slide, trust my intuition, and ask myself, if I was putting together a presentation for clients in the morning and this just happened, how would I respond? Because it's 10 o'clock at night. I can't rely on this program. So what is it that I notice that's shifted about the market that would be important for me to tell a seller in the morning? And so the question I asked myself, has the market shifted, and what do we control? So we know that sellers control the price they list their home at, the condition that their home is in, the availability for showings, what contract terms they will accept, and who they choose to represent them. The seller does not control the location, the market, or their competition. So I thought I would put together a little search, because something else I've been noticing, we're showing a lot of vacant homes. And so I wanted to see, is this an actual pattern? So I'm in the MLS playing around, and I pulled up, we had 2,051 active listings last Tuesday. And over 400 of those listings were vacant properties. There were also a significant number of sellers that had given up on the market and either canceled, withdrawn, or just let go of their listings. So what made them do that? But then also, if I was a seller today and I have my home on the market, why is it important to pay attention to vacant properties? And my computer is just bouncing all over the place instead. So sellers with vacant homes have a different degree of motivation than a seller who is living in their home as their primary residence. They have carrying costs, maybe a mortgage. They don't have a tenant that's in there that's paying these costs for them. So out of pocket every month, whatever their carrying costs are, whatever debt they have on that property, the rising cost of utilities as we're coming into winter, and then snow removal as well. So I thought I would put together a pretend market analysis. And for my office, I looked more at waterfront properties, but that's apples to oranges. And for the purpose of simplicity here, I put together apples to apples. I looked at a subdivision in Coeur d'Alene that has been established for maybe 15 years. I pulled up multi-level homes. Wanted to look between 6 and 800,000. That was intuitively where those homes might be listed at. And so what I came up with is the typical information that realtors would research, that there are 4 active properties that are similar to a home like this, that there are 3 pending properties, and in the last 90 days, 6 properties have sold. So if I had a seller with a multi-level home in this neighborhood, the Landings, this is the information that a realtor is going to be providing them. They're going to say, hey, if you want to sell, that we know that 2 properties are going to sell in the next month, likely, based on what has been selling. And so we need to make sure that your home is in the top 2 for price and condition. There's a problem with that, though. We're looking at the past to predict the future. And what we need to look at is seasonality of our market. And so the way that our market shifts. And so it's funny because I was able to put these statistics together the next morning, but I was able to kind of look at this. I knew this for myself, but just to look at this in a different, not as pretty while I was doing my research for this presentation for my office. So here we are in August, and we have homes that are selling in August. And the problem is when we're looking at that as our indicator, that the homes that are selling, they went under contract 30 to 45 days ago. And so what we're seeing that's closed in September went under contract in August. So when we're here in September and we're looking at, well, what's going to close in, we're going to close in October. And if we're looking at these charts, we can see that the number of sales is going to go down during the winter months. And it's not just immediate, that it's over the past few years. This is a common seasonal market. And so then we can also look at days on market, and we can see that the days on market, as we come out of summer, kind of into summer and out of summer, that's where we spike. And our days on market is going to be right now, we're coming into the highest days on market out of the entire season. So less sales, more time on market. And then also inventory, homes for sale. So this is showing the seasonality over the past more than decade. But then also you can see where the homes for sale declined during that COVID bubble, that time frame when we had people moving here sort of out of desperation, or maybe that they were finally able to leave urban areas and work from home in an area as beautiful as the Pacific Northwest, and specifically North Idaho. And so residential, MLS, all listings, homes for sale, we can see that there is some seasonality here, and that we're coming into the highest level. We're at the highest level of inventory right now, which is higher than we were at last year. It's a little noisy where I'm at here on Sherman Avenue. It's our main street in Coeur d'Alene. And so month supply of homes for sale, and this is an indicator of demand. And so we're looking at as demand decreases, we become more of a buyer's market. And so the way that I've always heard this is that a 6-month market, 6 months of inventory is a balanced market, that the motivation and control that buyers and sellers have is balanced. In my personal experience, I feel like a 6-month inventory market is more of a buyer's market, and that as we've shifted, that sellers are not aware that we've shifted. Buyers are aware. Buyers are sitting on the fence because they're seeing price reductions and that sort of thing. But sellers maybe haven't realized that the market has actually shifted. And that's really evidenced with our closed sales volume too. So this is not the volume, the dollar amount. This is units sold. And so our units sold, you can see, is really, it's leveled off, even though we've declined a lot. But we're back down at units sold closer to where we were at in 2015. So back to our pretend sellers. If you're still here and you haven't gotten bored and left, congratulations, you're a nerd like me. Teasing. But back to our pretend market analysis. So what we needed to look at as well. So we were looking at the past to determine the future, but we were just looking inside of this little bubble of demographic when the buyer that's looking at that property isn't just looking at a multi-level home in that neighborhood. They might be looking at a single level home on a basement. They might just have a size range or something like that. So what else would that prospective buyer be looking for, and what's available below this bracket? So when I expanded my search and said in Coeur d'Alene and Hayden, what else is available that is more like this size range and in the same price brackets, but not with a minimum price, no minimum price. And we went from having 4 available properties to over 20. So I think that it's really important to take a look at what else a buyer would consider when we're looking at the value of our homes. Bouncing all over the place. So what have we learned? We have learned that as we approach winter, that our units sold is going to slow down. The number of sales is declining, and that's seasonal and that's normal. That as we approach winter, the days on market is going to increase. It's going to take longer to sell. That demand will slow, and that our demand has been slowing, that it's not really just seasonal. Our demand is actually slowing. But then also, this is an ugly slide. We need to take into account that there are a lot of vacant homes on the market, and a vacant seller is potentially more motivated than a seller who is living in their home. So if I'm living in my home and my house is for sale, I probably better pay attention to that. Also, how many owners of vacant properties are going to give up and put their homes on the market? And I think that is going to affect our rental market here in the very near future. I think we will see more rental homes available. And as inventory increases, then prices will decrease. So demand is going to dictate the pricing. So I think we'll see rents come down along with the price and the rate at which homes are selling in our area. So in the past 90 days, we see that there were 800 unsuccessful sellers that gave up. And some of those sellers relisted at new prices, and maybe they were successful. But over the last 90 days, sellers have been discouraged. And that's because the market has changed. So if you're serious about selling, you need to get serious about your price. You need to look at your home like a buyer is going to look at your home. And remember, the seller does not control the location, the market, or the competition. The seller, as a seller, we control the price, the condition, the showing availability, the contract terms that we will accept, and who we choose to represent us. So if you're looking for a transparent, seasoned realtor, I'm here for you. I have 24 years of experience as a full-time realtor in North Idaho, and I take my role very seriously. So thank you for paying attention this long and sticking with me. And I would love for you to reach out. Have a great day. Thank you.